even though he
address.
did that gay
What
guy.
was the question? I don't
There's
remember what he
a
said.
dispute
He
about
asked the gay guy, what is a woman? And the gay guy did answer, but he played just there that moment that you were bringing up where the gay guy realized
Right.
what's happening.
But I forget what his original answer was. Do we have that?
Yeah, it's in the movie.
I think he just basically
I know, but
said
it was like a month ago, if not more than we watched.
Yeah, he basically said a
Like what?
self-identifying individual with the society or some shit like that. It was something along those lines.
It's my definition of. It's literally where I got my definition. It's the definition of the societal definition. Ugh, the sociological definition of what is a woman? Let me see if I can find him.
Was he a little earlier? Hey, here. Oh, this is the guy. That's the guy.
Hello. Wait, is that the wait? Is this the rabbit's woman's like younger sister or something?
It's struggling to load if you wanted to go.
Or is this the rabbit woman? Is this the rabbit woman? Is it the same?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Unless they showed the catastrophic before and after.
Yeah.
Right.
Catastrophic.
Wait,
I
is
think you
this...
should do what is pet play next. I think that's a
Oh, what is bestiality?
not bestiality, pet play.
Well, you know, I'm sure he'll find it like the same thing, you know.
Like before he gives you bestiality, he has to give us at least like what is necrophilia? Like that would be
Yeah. What if you ask the French? There's no such thing. It's always just a romantic relationship.
No, but wait, is this the gay guy? I thought there was a gayer guy.
no.
I don't know, man.
Oh,
This
this
guy's
one?
pretty gay. He's pretty fruity, little zesty.
Yeah, but there was a gay. I thought there was a gayer one, but I guess not.
That midget was pretty
Guy
gay
is
looking.
incredibly gay.
It's the whole point of the fucking movie, dumbass. What do you mean? What do you ask a question?
With this T-shirt. Mm-hmm.
He's trying to figure out how to answer the question. He's trying to figure out which direction. So first of all, he figured out what's happening, just like what Daniel said. And he's trying to figure out what's happening is A, he figured out what he's doing, like Daniel said. B, he's like, okay, there's like 100 different ways that I could answer this question. So why don't you give me some context about what is a woman, and then I can tell you what a woman is. Like he has 100 different answers rolling around in his head right now. I guarantee you that's part of what's happening. But then he gives the the classic sociology definition.
The
Maybe
gay
in
answer.
minutes, I think. It was quite gay,
It's
actually.
a pretty gay answer.
Nice.
I love him! Let's go, gay guy! Look at his posture. He's so defensive and closed off. I'm not sure where he gives it. I'm hoping he gives it soon and didn't already give it. No. He gave a real one. I just can't remember exactly when he did
I
it.
kind of hope he called him a cocksucker off camera.
He's cutting it out. This is where he did it, I think. Okay. We can finish listening to that, but it's just, he's such a jerk. He's doing this movie. He's asking this question. He claims he wants to know the answer. And then when somebody gives him a fucking answer, he just cuts it up to make it look insane.
Well, but that's how you learn through a montage. That's how it works. You know, you do a montage of an answer, and then you put music underneath, and there you go.
I hate this man.
Mhm.
That's not the definition that I heard. I don't know where it is. Does anyone remember any better where it is? Is it worth just
I have a
watching?
life. I've never watched a full thing.
Can I pause for a second? Like a similar example of that, isn't it like the same as like say being in love? Like doesn't it apply basically the same way? Like you know if somebody say they're in love with someone, you're gonna believe them, and of course in most cases they might behave in a way that leads you to think that maybe they're not being sincere. But like, even then, right, there's gonna be a lot of people who experience love in a way that is not recognizable outside on stereotypical right categories.
Yeah,
So
but I think it's like because it's so intertwined with sex. What some people are asking if they wonder, it's are you male or female?
right, but
Which
just
is a
like
different
love,
question.
No, I understand, but I'm saying just like love is intertwined with, I don't know, being around a person, right? But yes, some people can experience love at a distance. You know what I mean? Like the point is that yes, there are intertwinings between objective, like easy to check features about somebody's behaviors or looks, but like we don't use them to define them deterministically. Like we just use them as hints, right? You know what I mean? It's like, why do we need to? Like it's the same with gender. I don't get it. I don't get why
Well,
it's
but that's
complicated.
why the definition that he at some point gives, I hope it's between now and the later bit that we watched, because otherwise I'd have to go to the beginning to find it, and that's really obnoxious. But that's why I like the definition that he does give when he eventually gives it, that I've heard
Yeah.
before when I studied sociology, because it it's pretty it's as inclusive as it needs to be while maintaining objectivity. So it's like, hey, look, we can balance between how you identify, so this I'm a squirrel thing, and how society sees you fitting into it. So
Right.
we see you as a squirrel thing. Okay.
Yeah.
That's your gender now. And like it's pretty flexible. It
Yeah. I mean,
allows, it's a really grand definition because
I
it
mean,
allows for like you know, I don't remember the name, but it allows for different genders that other cultures have had, but it's also narrow enough that it doesn't allow anything in. It's a great definition. It's very good.
self-identity and like external identity are both uh, valid concepts. They don't have to coincide. You know what I mean? Anyway, whoa.
What's up?
I mean, okay, obviously, on his face right now, he's obviously gay. So he obviously has, I'll just call it some level of agenda. It's kind of hate speech, but like he obviously has some sensitivity to this topic. But at the same time, as an interviewer, Matt is being incredibly disrespectful. He is disrespecting this man, his time, what he studies, what he teaches. He is being really disrespectful. So like I understand kind of both sides, I guess.
Mhm. Are you recording this one, Darnell?
I do. I do.
Good.
I'm sorry. I do.
You do? Maxos, did you record that?
Mazel
Yes,
tov.
he wants to marry
Get,
me.
get a dick pic.
Yes.
Slide it in the
Right,
DM.
kiss him right on the tip of the penis.
I'm worried that the definition's at the beginning. Are you stroking your dick? Is that why you're cooing?
What? I'm yawning. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I think the only
Cooing?
thing I can complain about with
The
the
fuck?
definition is, okay, well, society has accepted you. How much of society is enough for that to be?
It's definitely not 100%. We can identify everyone's gender objectively, and no
Right.
one could ever have a different definition that goes against it. But there's nothing like that in sociology. Sociology is all about umbrellas, percentages, broad spectrum definitions. And that's all we can do with sociology. So again, I don't know where the definition is. I really hope we can find it, because I mean, like, it was just crazy. Like, it's exactly the definition that I learned in sociology, and I can defend the reason why I think it's a really good definition. But sociology doesn't pretend
Well, why don't you just
to
you
have.
say the definition?
I did. I've said it a few times. So like, it's a combination gender, and he says it a little more eloquently, but gender, or like what is a woman, is a combination between how someone's and I've said this last time we did the recording too, how someone self identifies. So like, how do I see myself fitting into society? Do I see myself, for example, but these are umbrellas and it's not necessarily these specific things, but we can define the umbrella. But for example, do I see myself as a caregiver who sees needs and then meets them, or do I see myself as a provider who spends my time collecting resources so that I can have them to give to others? Like, that's just one point on an entire umbrella spectrum of different actions and how we think about people and how we interact with people. Do I see myself as really do I tend to be really task oriented when I'm talking to other people? Am I trying to like solve things, or am I worried about how the other person is feeling? Am I more in my like in the zone of like thinking, how are they feeling? How am I feeling? How is this interaction going, kind of deal? Like it's super 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 broad, and there's like millions of points that I could touch on. But so there's that one. There's A, category A. How do I see myself fitting into society? And then there's category B of how does society see me fitting into it? So do other people perceive me, just to shorten it up here at the end, as a masculine personality or a feminine personality? Or do they not see me fitting into either? Like, how am I perceived by the way that I act, by the interpersonal relationships that I have, by how I treat, by the tasks that I take on, like how I which jobs I pick and how I decide to tackle those jobs, how well I work with others, things like that, right? Like it's a combination between those two things that would unravel this sort of objective truth of what my gender is. But that objective truth, again, it's not this hard universal truth, and it's not this soft sort of there is no truth. It's in the middle. It's a
Right.
social truth based on how society is currently defining this thing, because without people, without sexual
Mm.
without asexual species, as far as we understand, there would not be gender. So for this particular thing, just like without having a physical form, there wouldn't be race. Much in the same way, like these are both, in a sense, social constructs.
So, okay, well then in that context, what would be the reason we need gender? I mean, I could see differences of sex,
Well, I don't
but why
know
would we
if
even need
anyone has
the gender
spoken to whether or
distinction?
not we need gender. Instead, I think what's happening is we're saying that there is gender. And what is it?
I think I can find myself. And I think what I use as personal definition kind of falls with that, where I kind of accept the biological reality of two separate entities like man and woman, but I also understand that like there is this without us there wouldn't be no such thing as a gender, so we by definition have to, always have a social way of defining it to some extent.
And biology would define gender differently and has classically defined gender differently than sociology will define gender. Psychology will define it differently. It's all going to be relative to what your goal is, like not in terms of outcome, but in terms of what kind of qualitative facts
Yeah, utility.
can we observe about this thing to, yes, to act as utility to whatever um the field or subject matter is that we're concerned about. So in biology, you might still to this day see a definition of gender as essentially just sex. Whereas in sociology, you'll almost certainly see this definition that I've just given, although, of course, there are competing definitions within sociology. Anyway,